Teacher Survivalist Module 10, Your Why to Comply, When to Say Yes. This module really dives deep into why we are saying yes to many of the extra tasks available to us in the building. Oftentimes, administrators will ask us to do something, and we know that it's more work than we're probably interested in doing, but we still say yes to it. So here, we really challenge teachers to discover what is the why behind you saying yes to certain initiatives. And during Module 10, it's a big push towards administrators. So if you're an administrator, this is the module for you. It is a time for you to reflect on why people do say yes to you or why they don't say yes to you. And it also gives you ideas for engaging the teachers in your building to say yes to some of the initiatives or tasks that you've asked them to do. So take a moment, really think about what you're doing in the building that is beyond your teacher expectation and why you're saying yes to it. Again, the Teacher Survivalist program is very much aimed at reducing stress, kind of gaining confidence, and approaching your overall wellness. Knowing your why to comply will help you along this journey. In the companion resource for Module 10, you will be evaluating some scenarios in which you did say yes in recent school years. You'll evaluate why you actually said yes to these programs, initiatives, or questions, and you'll look a little bit back at, would you do it again? Did it give you any kind of value? If so, what was it? So start thinking back on some of those situations in which you said yes.
You don't need to try so hard. Realize you're right where you need to be. You had it from the very start.
Today is all about your why to comply. Yes. And we've talked a little bit about that word before. Yes. Why do we say yes? Today's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit more internal. We're going to break it down and figure out what your rationale is, or maybe how we can go about asking people to do things in a better way. So today, I always want to be teacher focused, but today is about talking about teachers in the hopes of helping administrators. As we move forward through this journey together, it's all about retention. How can we stay? How can we support? How can we empower to be the best educator you can be? Say yes when to say yes, say no when to say no, and mentor new teachers. Now, it's heading into the end of the school year, and it's time to look back. My point is, the end of the school year, something major happens to everyone, and everyone scrambles. Suddenly everyone is indignant, everybody has a cause, everybody is, this is not right, and we're all scurrying around. That includes parents, that includes students, that includes teachers, that includes support staff, that includes the lunch ladies, that includes administrators, and that includes district personnel. And I'm not taking away your right to feel how you feel. So you do what you need to do. You take it up with who you need to take it up with. You have a drink and vent, but you should feel it. And today is not really about being negative or any of that kind of stuff. We're going to figure out, why do you comply? Why comply? Why comply? Why comply? And I'm talking about little things. Well, not all the time, but I'm talking about kind of little things. We get asked to do a lot, and a lot of it is just kind of offhanded. I had this one administrator. I love this. I've remembered this my entire time. When I was in my master's program, I had to interview an administrator, and I don't remember what the question was. I think it was something about a normal work day. And she said, I get hit with drive-bys all day long. And I was like, what do you mean? And she said, I can come to work and have a plan and have an agenda, but the minute I step into that hallway, I get hit with a drive-by, which is a teacher who says, oh, while you're here, or, oh, Zachariah's been giving me trouble, or, whatever it is. So admin gets hit with those drive-bys constantly. And teachers, quick little note, I do want to throw a ball to admin on this. Stop drive-bying on things that do not need to happen right now. Right? Because again, they do have an agenda. They do have a plan. They're trying to get things done, but you're one of 20 that day who is doing a drive-by. So maybe just give them some space. Really think before you ask. So that's it. It's real simple. But administration does that to us sometimes. Sometimes we get hit with the drive-by or the call-in where you come into the office and suddenly there's something new. Special education, this happens a lot. Can you sit in on this IEP? Whatever it might be. But we get asked to do lots of things. And so as the school year comes to an end, I want you to take a minute and kind of look back. You know, we always start our school year with an idea of what it's going to be like. This year, I'm going to have the best classroom management. Or this year, I'm not listening to anybody else with all their complaining. I'm closing that door. This year, I'm doing this initiative, or I'm going to update all my lesson plans, or whatever it is. That's great. But I want you to look back and think about, what are all the things you did this year that you did not plan to do? What are all the things you've been asked to do and you were happy to do them? I don't want to approach this from a negative light. The things we're talking about today, why you comply. When I say comply, I mean you're agreeing to do this. So in most cases, you're excited or happy to help. So think back over your happy to help moments from the school year and think about, why did you comply to those things? Why did you comply to those things? Now, teachers, that was for you. Admin, let's talk. You can't do it by yourself. Sometimes the district isn't helping. So it's you, your teams, and your, little micro community of school. And you need help. So you're asking teachers to comply. You're kind of pleading with them. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you help me out? Whatever it is. Some administrators are really, really fantastic at this, and they get lots of help and assistance and ease from their teams, from their teachers. And so, admin, let's take a second and think about, why are these people complying, or why are they not complying? It's time to get specific here. So I'm kind of a yes person. I think my 20s and my 30s have been filled with yes, and I can do a damn great job. It almost took nothing for me to comply as a teacher because I have that personality. I don't necessarily have to be the best, but I want to give my best. I want to show everyone that I have value. And so most of the time, my answer was yes. I was kind of like an easy to comply teacher. Obviously, not everybody is like that. Now, as I finish up my 30s and kind of move on from here, my instinct is no. Yeah, no, I'm good. But here's the secret to me. And so if you have teachers in your school, admin, and usually I think these are seasoned teachers who do a great job, or that they are well-intended, but maybe they're not coming to the extra things that you could use help with, coming to the PTA night or help with basketball games or whatever, these extra things that we don't get paid for. The secret here is push a little bit, so at first when you drop the ask and you get kind of like, no, I'm good. Then it's time to kind of for me, I'll speak to my perspective. I'm going to say no, but I want to be pursued. I want to feel needed. I want you to want me. So admin, when you're thinking about how can I get these people to help me out? How can I get these people to build my team? Show them their value. And sometimes it's as simple as just I know you said no before, but I really, really need your help. That's a push. Push more. I've watched you in your classroom and you do such a great job with your students. I think you do a really great job with this. Push with flattery. Over the years, I've seen you take on tasks by yourself and excel. Imagine what we can do together. That's pretty powerful stuff. To not only give the ask, to flatter, but also to show we're on the same page here. We're on the same team. I am no better than you. sometimes as teachers, we want to see that you're going to do the grunt work just as much as we will. I want to see you at these events. I want to see you at the lunch fiasco. If I have to do that duty, I want to see you there sometimes. So that's a really nice way to kind of like start with the comply. How do I get these people to comply? Comply is not really even a great word. It's almost like dictatorship, it feels like. But I mean it with kindness. Again, these are things that you're asking people to do that really aren't bad things. They might actually enjoy them. You know, for instance, you might need a new department head, and you see that Josiah would be an excellent addition as a department head, but he doesn't really want to do it. Okay? All it takes is a little persistence and pursuing. Explain to them why they'd be good. You know, what could admin do to make you feel more supported? Or what could admin do? Whatever the question was, I don't know. And I just said, reach out to me personally and say, I see what you're doing in this class. Oh my gosh, that must have taken so much planning time. And you reached out to your community and they helped you out. That's really amazing work that you're doing. Please keep it up. Our kids are lucky to have you. Today's conversation is going to end at be human. Treat me like a human and be a human. There's two things I want to see here. Well, really, there's two things here that I want to talk about. See me. Literally see me, and see me beyond what's on paper. Think a little bit internally about what went behind what you're seeing, and talk to me about that. Tell me about that. You know, we want to be seen. And if you as an administrator are sitting there thinking about one of your employees and you're like, I don't know what they do after school, that's a problem. If you don't know your employees and you can't see them beyond the workday, then you need to get to know your employees better. Really, the whole idea here is just to kind of like think about the extra stuff. You know, like some employees are going to be on their own really great at what they do. And I think a lot of times they go overlooked because they don't need to be watched over. They don't need to be kind of like coddled. And so therefore, the teachers who fall in the middle, who maybe don't sign up for leadership roles, but also don't need like improvement plans, they just do a great job and are left alone. Take a minute as you wrap up your school year and thank them beyond the thank you. Hey, this school year has been really challenging. I know you were out for the flu with 2 weeks. It must have been very difficult for you to plan for your sub during that time. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the work that you put in so that your students didn't get behind. And high school admin, I'm talking to you. Elementary, I mean, nobody's perfect, but you guys are such a good job at encouragement, and it's light and it feels good. High school, even middle school, take a note, man. Take a note. We don't want to be belittled, obviously, but just take a note and think about how you can encourage this person. And not everyone is sweet and cushy and wonderful. You know, not every administrator has to be the most like nurturing person in the world. They may be an efficient boss person who can get things done. Hopefully you're hiring assistant principals who maybe have the qualities that you don't. But this is when you delegate and you find other employees to kind of reach out for you. I mean, I still want you to show your appreciation, but you can call on to others to kind of help you show support. Even if you're in, let's say, the faculty council meeting and you're talking to everybody about business, at the end of that faculty council meeting would be a great time to say, you know, guys, I really want to show everyone in the school how much I value them. And if you could just do me the favor of don't wait until your next meeting, just the next time you see your math department people, or the next time you see your related arts people, or the next time you see your language arts people, whatever it is, take a minute and stop them and say, you know, I talked to Miss Sheila yesterday, and she wanted me to pass along a message to every single one of the employees that you are doing such a great job, And I am so excited to come into your classroom soon and see more of the great work you're doing. That's really nice. So kind of for today's prompt, where are we going with this? It's going to be for you to, this is for teachers first, and even admin. Why do you do the things the district tells you to do? I mean, some of them are required, but we're talking about the things that aren't required today. So what is it that someone can say to you or offer you to do what they're asking for? What is it someone can say to you or offer to you to do what they're asking for? Not money, not a bag of chips, not a granola bar, not a let's have a nutty week little fun-sized bag of peanut M&Ms. Okay? Here's the deal. When we throw money or we throw incentive, that gets offensive real quick. So this is going to be harsh. Let me just say this real quick. Stop making this more complicated and insulting than it needs to be. Okay? Stop making it so complicated. Those little treats that we get sometimes are nice, sometimes, but I'd rather hear from you. Hearing from you is going to push me 5 more days out to be an excited and enthusiastic teacher. Those M&Ms won't last until I get back to my classroom. Let's take a minute to think about that. We need to stop overthinking about how can we show teachers appreciation? What can we give them? Yes, more pay. Yeah, absolutely. More pay. That'd be great. Wonderful. Treat me like a human. Show me that you're human. Now, if you're interested in learning more about this module was inspired by a book called You Have More Influence Than You Think by Vanessa Bohns, B-O-H-N-S. The title goes on to say how we underestimate our power of persuasion and why it matters. She also talks about impact, which is really interesting. So take a minute to look up that book. So today, think about, why do you comply? Admin, push yourself to basically give positive feedback, positive comments, get to know your employees. As this school year ends, you need joy. That will give you joy. That will push you to your 5 days out.